Okay, so welcome back to the Student Music Network. I'm joined here today by Dan, otherwise known as Kid Rain. How you doing today, mate?
Yeah, mate, really, really good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So the reason we're talking today is our network of student radio stations around the country. We're all really excited about what you've been putting out, your new music, everything you've been doing. And so we've given you a spot on the student radio class of 2023.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm honoured. I'm honoured. Thank you very much.
But yeah, just as a part of that, do you want to introduce yourselves? How would you describe your music? How would you describe Kid Rain to someone who hasn't heard of you before?
Um, I always just, I think a lot of artists shy away from the word pop, especially new artists, because they really want to. A lot of artists, rightly so, really want to be cool and fit in with all the cool kids and all that stuff. But if I had to describe my music to anyone, it would just be pop. Like it's just pop music. I think because where I grew up in Yorkshire, like it's like that pop music, but my voice is like Yorkshire, so it has that guitar kind of feel to it, but still being that pop music. So I think it kind of sits in the middle of not being too bubblegum cheesy pop music, but not being like too cool for school. It's like kind of in the middle.
I really like that description. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people want to shy away from pop, but it's it's perfectly good at describing something.
Yeah.
So as a student music network, I got to ask, are you currently studying anything, or have you been a student in the past? And do you think that experience has shaped your music in any way?
I think in terms of being not a student in the sense of going to a university and studying in lectures. Well, I didn't go to university because I was in a band when I was at school, and then when we left school, we decided we were going to make a crack at this music thing. But I've technically been a student of what I'm doing now, which is producing and mixing. Like that really is a subject, like a subject at school that you constantly are learning. So whether that be like YouTube or just writing loads of songs, or for me, going into studios and just kind of keeping one eye on what the producer is doing. And it's taken me like 10, maybe even 13 years to even get close to being able to make a mix ready song. But yeah, I mean, that's probably what you would say. I'm still a student. And I think in this industry and in the arts or creative industry, you don't really stop being a student. It's not like, all right, you've done it now, you've learned it, well done, bye. It's like you're
Yeah,
constantly evolving and learning.
you can never master it.
No, I don't
um,
think so. I think anyone that says they have is just incorrect and naive.
I was going to say, I mean, listening to a lot of the interviews you've done, reading any sort of interviews about you, you seem like someone who music has always been a part of your life. It's been a very big thing to you. And I just want to ask, how was it that you got into music? Was there ever a kind of like a eureka moment, or was it just something you always sort of felt?
And there was something I always felt. I wanted to be a football player when I was younger, when I was like an early teenager. But I knew I could sing, so I joined this band, and we were just playing battle of the bands, and we were just having a laugh. But it started just kind of growing throughout school, and we kind of got offered a few little independent deals in our area, like EP deals and single deals, and then it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And then when I was about 19, I realized if you put all your eggs in the basket, it is possible to make a living from it. And I know a lot of smaller or independent artists like myself will always complain about it. But if you really put your head down, you can not have a job or this be your job. But it just takes years and graft to do it. And I thought, well, there's nothing else in the world I've ever wanted to do. Nothing else in the world I've actually thought I was good at. So I was like, I might as well put all my eggs in this basket. And then, but if anyone's listening and thinks, oh, how did he get into music? There is no guidebook. I started making music at home, and I started releasing it, and I started promoting it myself. That's it. There's no secret source. There's no email address that you need from a label. It's just start releasing music, start growing your fan base, busk if you need to busk, or play gigs. So that's it. There's no secret source to what I've been doing.
I was going to say, I mean, you answered my next question. I was going to say you're someone who's sort of broken through into the industry, uh, as you're saying, through a lot of your own graft, but also through a sort of new angle. This whole thing of TikTok going viral on different social medias. And I mean, you sort of answered it for me already, but what advice would you give for someone looking to break through?
Um, well, there's two. Well, I'll do the first one, which was kind of what you asked about TikTok, because that's such an important platform at the moment. The don't think that the algorithm is some all-giving God who is going to give and take whatever it pleases. The algorithm is just people, so it's just a code to track people. So don't make content for the algorithm, like, oh, short videos do better than long videos. All this is nonsense. Make videos that you, the consumer, would want to consume, because that's all that TikTok is. It's just people, and everyone thinks, oh, these kind of videos are the algorithms liking this video at the moment. No, it's not. It's people are liking this video at the moment. So stop. Don't over scientify. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. It's just make good content for people, and they will start following you and start, listening to your music. That's the first thing. And wait, I've lost my train of thought there. What was the question you asked again?
I was just sort of saying, for people looking to break in, what advice would you give? So
Yeah, sorry. So that was the TikTok thing. And the second one for the music is, especially for the first 12 months, don't be too precious about it. It's going to do badly, probably. You just have to accept it's going to do badly. At some point, one of those songs is going to fall flat on its face when you thought it was going to do well. Happens to everyone. Don't be too precious about how cool it is, your artwork connecting in this way. Because the truth is, in the first 1 to 2 years, no one really cares. You need to write good music with good kind of a good visual. It doesn't have to be amazing, just good visual, and just get some music out. Because no one is going, oh, that small artist with 500 followers is their Instagram artwork ties into their, like, no one cares. Just put the music out. Then when you're Kendrick Lamar, then you can start being, artsy about it. But for now, just the number one piece of advice that I got when I was about 18 was, no one cares. And when you accept that, you can just start putting music out, and then people will start to care. But for the first year, just put some stuff out, put some content out, judge the audience and see how it goes. Hopefully that answers your question.
No, that's perfect. So I was going to say, you sort of a year into your solo releases on Spotify, you had this massive sort of viral hit with your cover of "Accidentally in Love." I'm going to partly put that on the marketing tactic that you used. I saw the your dad Shrek cut out.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, how was it? Because it was such a massive response. I think it's about 13.5 million streams at the moment.
Yeah.
So how was it watching that all like take place?
Well, it was the first time I ever released a song that had a genuine buzz behind it. So usually as an independent artist, you are, here's a song, please listen to it. That's just how it goes. Like, to your market, please listen to my music. That's why you see all these people on the internet going, check out my new single, all this stuff. They want everyone to consume it. This was the first time where I didn't want to release a piano cover from Shrek. I didn't. I wanted to be a cool, proper artist when I first started. But this was like the other way around, where people were going, please give us the song. And I think you have to now accept that doesn't happen very often. Usually it's, please listen to my music. But this one was, please give us the music. So I just had to swallow my ego and go, right, I'm going to release this piano cover. And I mean, I'm so glad I did, because within a day, it had done what all my other songs had done collectively in 6 months. In a day, that one song. So I was just like, it gave me a good insight into what happens when you have a song that genuinely connects with an audience, how much bigger it will be than just writing whatever and putting it out. But having a song that really connects, it was really eye-opening, actually, to see.
Brilliant. I've just got one or two more questions. I just want to ask, this summer, you had a big summer. You did your first proper headline tour. And I just want to ask, how was it? How did you feel?
It was very nerve-wracking, especially when we announced it, because this was all like started online. There was no realness to it. It wasn't like I had been doing other music things for the last few years, but it wasn't like I was on the road all the time, like gaining fan bases, seeing people live. It was like, okay, the Spotify numbers say this, the TikTok numbers say this. This is how many tickets we think we might sell, you know. And then we put a date on in Glasgow and London, and you know, I'm from near Leeds, so I was okay about the Leeds one, but then the Birmingham one and I was like, I have no idea if anyone's going to show up. But then when we like, I mean, the moment for me when we went to Glasgow, which is like 5 hours north of me,
Yeah, it's
and
far.
there was a queue out the door, like snaking.
Oh,
And I
brilliant.
remember pulling in, I was like, this is sick. So I was just buzzed the whole time, and me and my band and the crew that came with me we just had a really good time. It was only 4 dates, but we made it feel like a full stadium world tour.
That's brilliant. So I just want to ask one last question, bit of a lighter one.
Yeah.
So your Spotify bio, it describes you as a massive, cool, awesome, cool singer dude with the voice of Adele, maybe a bit better, the fan base of One Direction, the integrity and quality of the Beatles, or maybe a bit more, and the class and elegance of Queen Elizabeth II. And I wanted to ask if you could add another sort of quality of a famous musician or celebrity to that list, what would you want to add?
Probably the jawline of Timothée Chalamet. That's what I aim. That's what I aim one day to have. I don't know how. It's just a lot of chewing gum exercises, just like eating extra chewing gum all the time. But I think
So I got a whole pack for that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Those of you listening, please check out Kid Rain all over Spotify, Instagram, TikTok. Some brilliant stuff there. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in.
Thanks so much for having me.